Hey, happy day. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. How to be the low man on the totem pole to supersize and grow your business. This is the closest I can get to a totem pole up at the cabin, and we don't have a totem pole. My dad always wanted a totem pole out front of, it's a big red barn cabin, and he always wanted a totem pole out there. Because one of our favorite restaurants up here, when we first got the cabin, had this beautiful totem pole in front of it. It's called the Lonesome Pine. Shout out to the Lonesome Pine. And during a big storm, kind of like the one we're having now and last night, I just see big cracks of thunder and lightning in the background sometimes out the window. And like that, it hit their totem pole and knocked their totem pole down. And so they replaced it with a beautiful tree carved pole instead of a totem pole. Now it's just one big lonesome pine, which more closely resembles their name. So it's really cool. Always had an affinity to totem poles. They're amazing. They're such a beautiful works of art, and they represent things. Each totem, each symbol represents and symbolizes something different. They're from Native American culture. Great, beautiful representation of meaningful things. But it's attributed to Fred Allen, an American comedian in 1940, that the lowest totem, the lowest carving on the totem pole was the least important, was the lowest of the important symbols on the totem pole, which is absolutely positively not true. But like so many untrue things, he said it, other people believed it, adopted, and the saying became really popular, even though it's founded in misinformation. Any of that going around in the world right now? Anyone? COVID, politics, it's crazy. All the nonsense and misinformation that's coming out of so many, I don't even know if they were ever credible, but sources that people believe to be credible and to believe to be news, and they're just not. We have to think for ourselves. So low man on the totem pole came to mean, and still means for the majority of people, the lowest ranking, least important person in an organization or in a situation. So for example, I grew up believing that you went to school, got good grades, got a job, started out at the bottom, and then worked your way to the top. You worked and sometimes clawed your way to the top, but you worked and you would earn the position that you wanted in an organization. Well, we all know that's about as true as the origin of this particular idiom, right? It's just not founded in reality. It's not founded in facts. Yet many of us still believe it. Many of us believe that we can enter a new business, we can enter a new industry, and if we just work, we'll get to the top. Not true. It takes a lot more than just work, although if you don't work, you're definitely not going to get what you want. So love this idiom. I'd love to know what you think of it, what your experience has been with it. I definitely have been the low man on the totem pole in many organizations and in many jobs and places that I was a part of, a member of, where I started out and I didn't really know anything. I was a novice and I had to learn and figure things out so that I could move through the ranks, so I could learn, so I could contribute more. Now, how does this apply to our businesses? Because most of us are business owners. For one, I believe that we are in charge of the culture that we create in our organization. Are we creating old-time, worn-out, pyramid scheme type, hierarchical organizations? Are we thinking that some people are better than other people in our organization? Do we have infighting in our over a quarter century in corporate America, where we actually had what we called silos? We had different silos or any communication going between different departments, say sales and manufacturing, operations, purchasing, receiving, shipping, all the different departments. You had to go all the way up to the vice president level, and then the vice presidents would talk. So somebody in, say, purchasing would have an idea. They would have to go all the way up through the ranks, jump over at the vice president level, and then come all the way back down through the ranks in, say, the operations department, or electrical department, or maintenance or mechanical department, or sanitation. It would be crazy. So things like COVID hitting would take years. It would take a year for a decision to be made to make a change during a situation like COVID, which is outrageous because we don't have a year, right? We need to make those decisions now. So that's an example of, are we creating cultures where there's this hierarchy and everybody has to go through this particular hierarchy to get anything done, to get any decisions made? Culture in our organizations is up to us. We can keep it simple, and we can treat everybody the way they deserve to be treated, treat everyone as if they're equal contributors to the organization, because they are. It takes all of us working together to make our businesses work. The other thing that it draws to mind for me personally is that I don't believe as a leader I should be asking anybody to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. If I'm not willing to dig into and solve a problem and help solve a problem, or clean the bathroom, take out the trash, fix the toilet, order something, run out and get food, whatever it is for your organization, if I'm not willing to do the things that I ask other people to do, I have to ask myself, and it doesn't mean that I have to do them all the time, but I at least have to say that I'm not above that. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to pitch in and contribute wherever it's necessary to guarantee and ensure the success of whatever project or thing or business that I'm running or doing. Not everybody believes that. A lot of people believe in the hierarchy. This is the way I was raised. This is what I grew up in. This is the way it's always going to be. You have to decide what kind of a culture and what kind of an organization you want to build. Entirely up to you. I'm just sharing my experience. So that's it. This is a very cool idiom based on misinformation, but it still means the same thing to a lot of people. It's kind of like it takes 21 days to form a new habit. It's one of those things that a motivational speaker read out of a study, used it out of context, and then it got passed around. It's gotten passed around so much that it's almost common knowledge. Remember, the world used to be flat too, right? That used to be common knowledge, and we know how that turned out. So when we're hearing things, when we're seeing things, when we're passing on information, let's make sure that we take a minute or two to really find out what it means, where it came from, and how we want to apply it to our current situation. I don't know that I'll say low man on the totem pole ever again. I used to use the expression, oh, I'm just low man on the totem pole. I'm not sure that I'll use it again now that I've just found out that it's founded on misinformation. All right, have an amazing day. I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business right now?